And we are here, we are live, and we are streaming around the world. Welcome to Wide World Bells Presents Spanning the Globe. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is our debut on the YouTube channel, Wide World of Bells YouTube channel. And I want to welcome each and every one of
YouTube.
you. YouTube, dude, yeah. Joining me tonight, for now, we got a couple of other guys hopefully going to come on. Next to me is Mr. Ken Harper. Welcome.
Nope.
And below me is Mr. Jim Lawrence, who's in the middle of a snowstorm right now, is what I understand.
Yeah. We're taking a beating up here. It's we've got about six or 8 inches out there right now. It's kind of
Wow.
crazy.
Wow. Banner's going here. And before we get started, I want to remind everybody we are sponsored by Mark Leather, Championship Belt Releathering for all your releathering needs, and also by Unique Spirit Championship Belts. And I'll go into a little bit more about that here in a little bit. They're sponsoring us. And this YouTube channel is made possible by a partnership. There's Andy. He's not the partner. With the partnership with another podcast, some friends of mine from Oklahoma City, the Brothers of Kayfabe podcast. You can find that on your Apple podcasts. And they like to talk about wrestling. So, anyway, we've got some topics to talk about tonight. One that is on the forefront of the hobby, one I've tried to avoid talking about because I like to keep this page positive, this channel positive, but it's something that just won't go away, so I'm going to address it tonight, and then we'll leave it alone for a while. And of course, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah, no way
It is,
around it.
What's up, guys?
There's no way around it.
there's no way around it. No, it just keeps going and going. It's like the Energizer Buddy.
Yep.
Mr. Eddie Williams, who's not been good PR very often here lately. So there was a podcast on last night, Pounding the Meat, who's usually on at the same time we are, but they were on last night, and they had a story. There's been several stories of people who have been scanned by Eddie Williams. Let me go through the comments here real quick. Hello, Drew. Glad you're
Hey,
joining
Drew.
us.
What's up, Drew?
Curtis, I'm working on a strap for him right now. Facebook user. You might click on the StreamYard link so we can see your name. I'd like to give you credit for your comments. Mr. Brian Allen, first YouTube comment. Oh, cool, yeah. First YouTube
Maybe
comment. Okay. What else we got? Elephants, plural. Yeah, there are a few elephants, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Tony Thorpe, joining us from Nova Scotia. And hopefully we have Norris joining us from Malaysia, 10 o'clock in the morning in Malaysia. My good friend Richard Ward. Rich. So let's talk about Eddie. Did any of you guys watch the PTM podcast last night?
I
Yeah.
watched a little bit of it. Without, we all know what happened, and without rehashing everything. Eddie is evidently the state police are getting involved up here. There are there are things in motion that could definitely possibly send this guy back up the river.
That's what I'm hearing.
I don't know because I didn't tune in for the whole thing or anything. I've been like you. I'm trying to stay out of the fray because I've been fortunate. I was, in my dealings with Eddie, I got everything that I paid for. Unfortunately, other people did not. So I don't want to make this. I don't want to make this like, well, I got my stuff and whatever. But yeah, this is getting to the point where he's. This is what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
There's been posts out there about that. I don't
I'm
know.
hearing
There's
that.
been a lot
I'm
of
hearing
rumors out there.
Yeah, I'm hearing that too, Jim.
Yeah, and I want to be very careful here because it's we follow the law here where we're innocent until proven guilty, and there's a lot of allegations out there. So and it's not that I'm defending him. I'm not. These are horrible stories, but he'll be proven guilty or innocent in the court of law. So I want to be very, very careful about that.
No,
Well,
Uh,
here's my bigger concern, and this has nothing to do with Eddie, but everything to do with the feds. Um, you guys do understand that a lot of these things are bootlegs,
yeah.
right?
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
And they're coming from overseas.
Hmm.
Um, Eddie goes down, right? He gives up all these other people that are involved because technically, this could be something where it's kind of like a RICO thing, where if they can get a bunch of people doing a bunch of things, because basically this is illegal.
Yeah,
Um, there's, this could affect the belt hobby in ways that people don't understand,
yeah.
and
Curtis, we
it's
don't
already,
know. We don't know.
they could shut down a lot of things and belts. Once again, you'll have to end up paying a lot more money for them, just simply for the fact that this guy decided that, once again, I, not, I can't say that I was ripped off, but other people were claiming that he did, get them for a lot of money.
Yeah,
And where there's smoke, there's fire. So I'm going to tend to believe, lean towards, that, possibly, that this is true. I, I have friends who he's dealt with. Randall Angel being one of my closest friends in this hobby. Has had bad dealings with Eddie. So I'm not going to discount what he says. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Um, but if things happen, I mean, there could be a lot of things that get shut down because,
yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
we're
Well, I
it's a
mean,
bootleg, thing, and people who own the rights to all this stuff
yeah,
um, are getting ripped off. I mean, legitimately. And I hate to bring this up because I have mostly bootlegs. Um, the thing is like, this could go way deeper than anybody ever suspected because, you've got all these makers overseas who are even, the good guys, who are making money off of something that technically is owned by somebody else. And at the end of the day, um, this could change everything for the belt hobby because we don't know how far or how deep this whole little enterprise of Eddie's goes if there
right.
were other people that he was involved with.
Yeah,
And the fact that WWE has already got claims going against people. I've seen where people were getting their belts confiscated as they're coming through customs, um, because they're illegal. Um, tells me that there could be other things that could, other shoes may drop on the hobby because of this one guy, especially if the law is getting involved now.
yeah.
That's my 2 cents. Sorry, it took me 10 minutes to say it.
That's okay. There's a couple things I want to address. One of those is I've heard a lot of people asking, how could one man have so much influence over the hobby and have, because there's people still defending him.
Hmm.
The ship has sunk underneath his feet, but there are people that are defending him, and I get that. Some people are loyal to the end. I get that, and like you, I was not ripped off. I wasn't scammed. Uh, yeah, you and me both. Um, but how could he have fooled so many people? I mean, if you believe all these stories, now one or two people coming forward say, "Hey, he did this to me, he did that to me." Yeah, you can be skeptical, but so many people coming out and telling these horrible, horrible stories. These people
Well,
didn't get together.
and it's actually people that I happen to trust.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah,
That's the thing. It would be different if it wasn't somebody like Randall Angel or Rusty
yeah,
Miller, or
yeah,
some of these other people coming out and saying this. But these
yeah,
are people who I trust wholeheartedly,
Hmm.
and
Some of the best
I
people in
have,
the hobby.
yes, and I have to take their word on it because, even though I've had good dealings with him, if other people were coming out of the woodwork and saying, "Hey, man, my dealings weren't so great,"
Yeah.
I'm out. I heard one guy was out like, a few thousand
yeah,
dollars. We're
Well,
talking like 10 belts and, a couple, $300-400 a belt or whatever. You take, and I'm just saying that's a lot of money to lose.
yeah. It
yeah.
is, and a lot of debate about people who are ordering so many belts at one time, and I get that too. especially if you've got the money to do it, why not? Why space it out over such a long period of time? Because these belts take anywhere from 3 to 4 months at best, depending on who you go to. But
Well, here's my thing, and this is what a lot of um, regular people who just want the collectors who aren't so much the hobbyists that are into it, and everything. They just want to collect the belts because they're new to it. Um, they just they think that, well, I put an order in for belt A, belt B, belt C, right?
hmm
Well, what they don't understand is they don't make them all at once.
right,
What they'll do is makers make in batches. They'll make a whole bunch of belt A, and then they'll finish those. Then they'll make belt B, a whole bunch of belt B, and then they'll make a whole bunch of belt C.
right,
And these guys, because they paid all this money up front, well, they have to wait so long for each batch of belts to get made, and it takes a while.
right.
Well, that gives somebody time. I mean, I'm just looking at it, as somebody who, if I have that much time to kind of fudge the records
Yeah,
in between each batch being made, well, I know that you've paid this to me, this to me, this to me, this to me, and I know you have to wait so long. Well, I can give you the runaround because, hey, man, well, they took your money, they took my money. I don't know what's going on, man. You see what I mean?
right.
Because
Lane,
they're
I'm
not
gonna
going to make
hold on a
they're
second.
not going to make a TV title, a US title, and a Smoky Mountain title for you
Yeah,
specifically because you
there goes.
all at once specifically because you ordered it all at once.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not going to get the minds of these people over so many belts at one time. I mean, they had their reasons for doing that. I'm not going to criticize them for that. But this is a good example of pacing yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's not their fault. It's not
No.
their fault. I'm not blaming them at all. Um, yeah, yeah, and I can tell you what happened to me. I had ordered a world class American title from Mayon through Eddie, and Lane, you having trouble getting situated there?
Yeah, I don't know. I hit something. It just was, froze up.
Okay. Let me get you a stand for that iPad.
I just got a new iPad cover, and it's got a stand on it. So this is
Okay.
great.
All right. Anyway, I'd ordered this world class American, just the plates. I was going to re-leather it myself, and I ordered it in May. The same time I ordered this crumb ride. Ordered it in May, and time went by. Time went by. Eddie would come on his podcast, his update podcast, talking about who's getting what when. He wouldn't mention my belts. And I wasn't going to bother him. They don't like to be bothered. You order a belt one day and start hassling them the next day. It didn't work that way. So I waited a few months, and he would tell me, well, Myon's on it. He's on it. He had to go get some zinc, but he's working on it. Never really got a true update. Like it's in etching, it's in plating, it's in
Yeah.
painting, whatever. I didn't get any of that. Well, long story short, this crumb rind, which took an agonizing amount of time, finally came in. I believe it was October. It took about 9 months to get it. 9 months, which really isn't bad for what I got, and it's well worth the wait. But it was 2 months later I finally got that American, and then somewhere in there that last month before it showed up, I ordered a world class heavyweight championship also for my own through Eddie, and then that was when the fallout happened. The falling out happened. Yeah, and so I was left holding the bag like everybody else, and I decided I wasn't going to stand for it. Eddie it washed his hands of it, and I had paid Eddie half the money for that belt, and of course he had everybody convinced that it was Mayon and his brothers that were in the wrong. So
Yep.
I went to Mayon directly, and I said, "Hey Mayon, I've got this world class, and I know you and Eddie have split up. What's going on with that?" He said, "Well, Eddie never gave me the money." Well, me believing Eddie said, "Okay, if we're going to play this game, I'm done with you." He said, "Well, what do you owe on it?" And I said, "I owe half." He said, "Well, how much was that?" And I can't remember how much it was. I told him. He said, "Well, send me that other half. I'll get you the belt." And he did. To his credit, he gave me that belt for half the price, basically. And
Hmm.
Eddie had run off with the other half. And of course, everybody thought the Mayans were at fault all this time. Their reputations had been ruined.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Eddie is doing everything he's been doing, and there's no telling how many other makers out there have yet to come forth.
And
But
putting on a good act doing so.
yeah, yeah, and I considered Eddie a friend. I wasn't a great friend. I mean, we talked a few times. We had a few dealings. Other than that thing with the World Class American, the other belt. I mean, everything I ordered from him, I got. Um, all right, so I put that one up. Okay, but people keep asking, how could he have fooled so many people? And the only thing I can think of, I was thinking about that.
He's good at it.
Well,
He's a con man.
it takes a special kind of person that can do that. And there are two times in history that I can think of in modern history where this happened. And I hesitate to bring one of them up because it stirs up so many feelings. But if you look at what Adolf Hitler did in Germany during World War II, look what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He had so much influence. He was able to convince all the German people to do what they did. And look how that turned out. And then you look at Jim Jones, the Reverend Jim Jones down in Guyana.
Talk about drinking the Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
The
And I can't explain how they do that, but there are people in history who have been able to get away with that. But over time, their scheme unravels, and this is what happened to Eddie because his as I understand it, his technique was to scam this guy,
Mm-hmm.
tell this guy says something about him, and then those two don't talk.
He would work the buyers against each other.
Yeah, they can't compare notes because they're not speaking.
But the ultimate thing he did, Mark, is he said,
Vinny.
He said, if you guys have any questions on your belts, do not contact Mayan. Go through me only.
Yeah, he didn't tell me that, but
Well-
I just kind of assumed that was an unwritten rule.
But no, he did say that, and that, well, that's real convenient. You can't talk to the belt maker, and you got to trust what he says. Well,
Yeah.
now look where we're at.
Yeah, and
Well,
this is
and two, whenever he got in with these groups, some of these groups didn't exist until
Yeah.
he created them.
right.
Some of the groups that did exist, he got into a position of power, and then eliminated people out of it to where he, consolidated power and controlled the narrative. And that's the big thing that he did more than anything else, was he could control the narrative of what was going on, what was being said in any and all of the groups. The one, couple of groups that he didn't have was, which he left, Wrestling Belt Reviews, which
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
still an admin in. Actually, I was the guy that took Eddie's place.
Okay.
He didn't get to do that to us because Stephen Smith wouldn't let it happen. Well, D wouldn't let it happen. Everybody that's in the group would not let that happen.
Right.
But I'm sure there was a chance where he might have tried to take power. I don't know. I wasn't there when he was in the group. But that being said, man, when you consolidate all the groups and you're in charge of them and you control the narrative, well, you can sit there and basically make yourself just look like the savior of the hobby, the
Yeah.
man, the myth, the whole the whole legend.
Yeah.
And I don't, I didn't subscribe to all of the podcasts because honestly, and this is just me being, straight up with everybody. We're talking about belts, and stuff. Well, theirs became more of a bitch fest about certain people's
Mhm.
certain makers and things. And that also, kind of controlled what everybody thought of other people.
Yeah.
Our podcast, which, if I felt that this podcast wasn't neutral or open about things, then I probably wouldn't participate in it.
Neither
And
would
that's
I.
just, well, I mean, that's just, how I
I get it. Yeah.
feel about the guys that are here.
Yeah.
I think that everybody here is honest and trustworthy. We're not trying to sit here and say, well, go to this certain maker, go to that certain maker, because hey, we're in this hobby because we know so much, and we're the God forbid, the Godfathers. Roll my eyes at that. No, that's not a mark against anybody to be negative, but this is a hobby.
Yeah.
This is metal and leather, and it's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
We all love wrestling. We're all here to have fun.
But this is, I mean, as bad as
brand
this
yourself
was,
the title. I think it's funny. I'm
as
sorry.
bad as this was, and this is and there's still stories coming out. I mean, the one last night with Eric Tyler was the worst I've heard, and
That's the worst I've heard. Broke my
it's
heart.
just sickening.
Yes.
And the one thing that sticks out in my mind from that interview was him saying that he's sitting there eating tuna while Eddie is bragging about having his DoorDash show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
He was talking with him in oh, hang on, I got DoorDash at the door right
Yeah,
now. Well,
exactly.
he's
Yeah,
eating a
that
tuna
just
a day.
that was just sickening. And
That's disgusting.
yeah, and Eddie was always complimentary to me. He was always friendly to me. You know, he was always, you know, he told me how much he respected me. How you know, I won't go into everything because it's just ridiculous. But
Well,
but
that's the lip service once
yeah,
again.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes. Yeah.
some of the stuff
Personally,
I didn't buy, but
well, man, look, everybody is anybody that's in any kind of business whatsoever is trying to promote themselves and said business.
right.
So when you hear McDonald's say, "Well, we got the best burgers," are they the best really? I mean, that's your opinion. Okay, whatever. Um, it's just one of those things where you're trying to present something as being better than everybody else, um, and that's capitalism. But
Yeah,
at the same time, whenever you're positioning yourself as this figure, and when I said Godfather, that's not a knock against Josh or anybody personally, because once again, these guys have been nothing but straight with me. I've in my dealings with them.
yeah,
But when you lay, I was talking about more or less of giving yourself a title in a hobby. Like, come on, man, really? I mean, it's a hobby.
ah, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, he was also able not to just get individuals against each other, but he also pitted groups against each other.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
you had
Very
you
much
had
so.
Bam and Pounding the Meat. Those guys didn't speak for a long time,
He really
and
seemed to enjoy it.
yeah, and there were some of those guys in that other group, you know, the PTM guys that unfriended me just because of the association, and I get that, and it hurt because I didn't know until one of them reached out to me the other day and told me, and it made sense. It made sense. It would have been nice to know at the time, but you know, a lot of people were affected. If they weren't affected because they were scammed, they were affected because they lost friendships. I mean, a lot of people were impacted by this one man's acts,
Mhm.
alleged acts,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a lot of damage. And I'll tell you something else. You know, there's been different stories out there about him being in the hospital, and yeah, I'm with you, Richard. We need to get back to the hobby. We will after tonight, and we will
We
hear
will.
here
That's
in a
a
little bit.
promise.
But you know, I don't know whether he's in the hospital, he's out of the hospital, he's on death's door, he's at home. I don't know, but I was going somewhere with this, and I lost my track when I was addressing Richard. But he, before this happened with him going to the hospital, he was very defiant. He was in these other groups, so he kicked everybody out of that was critical of him, saying that this guy's this guy's that, they're lying, this and that. Didn't deny anything, just was pointing the finger at other people. What would have helped him, in my opinion, what would have helped him more instead of sitting there being this defiant guy saying, you know, these guys are making this crap up, would be to say, you know, of course, admitting guilt's difficult, and I'm not saying he's guilty, but I'm just saying if he is, I screwed up. I did this. I'm
Jay,
sorry.
get back, 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 get back,
What the heck is that?
back, back,
Oh, I think there's a dog loose
back.
at Ken's house. Okay. Yeah. Thought somebody's talking to me there for a second.
Like, well,
Um,
what's going on here?
but be contrite, you know.
Hey, Dustin.
Screw up. I screwed up. You know, I did all this. I made a big mistake. I'll do everything I can to fix it, even though if it's true, the amount of dollars that's involved here, there's no way anybody could make that up in
If he
restitution or
admits,
other.
here's the thing though, if he admits guilt, he's going to jail.
Exactly. Yeah, I know
Mhm.
that. I know that.
And he's not going to do that.
No,
Okay.
no.
He's gonna sit there and he's gonna fight it every way he can just to avoid doing jail time.
Yeah.
I said about yeah,
That was bad. Yeah, that was
that
bad.
was really bad.
That was
I agree,
terrible.
Curtis.
That was
Eh,
just
At first, I thought that was just the
Especially
one
'cause
comment toward
I have
Randall,
friends.
but I heard the other stories about what he said about the military. How they always did. I'm not going to repeat that. It was just terrible.
yeah. I know what you're
But
talking about.
yeah. My first blind date. Get back, get back. Uh,
But I
but
just, I want these. I want because, and here's the thing, excuse me, for him to admit guilt, that means, he
right,
would have to go to jail.
right,
Or if he says, I lost the money, he still has to go to jail because he took other people's money and is
yeah,
responsible
yeah,
for it. That's never going to happen. He's going to deny, deny, deny. And there's, and I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying it's not going to happen because for that to happen, then, that
yeah,
contrition, and everything that you talk about, um, he can come out with a mea culpa and say that he's sorry and that's everything.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, you stole thousands of dollars. If this
right,
is true,
right,
you need to pay it back
yeah,
because if you don't, then there are people who will put you in jail.
right.
Um,
I
and like
guess
I
what I was
said,
trying to say. Go ahead.
I'm more worried about the other shoe dropping in this hobby with all of this because we're
Wow.
dealing in.
I don't think that's a good idea, but that's not my call.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea. But
Well, terrible
this
things.
this here really makes you question humanity right here. But I guess what I was trying to say was, admit something went wrong and say I'll do everything I can to make it right without admitting guilt. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but something better than that guy's an idiot, that guy's an idiot, uh,
The
piece
only
of
way I,
garbage, whatever he said.
the only way I
Type of
see him doing that is if when it,
Yeah, that's the deflection.
yeah,
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 when he's about to be arrested or whatever, that's when I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It
yeah.
just
And we'll never hear that if
no,
he's arrested. We'll never hear
no,
that.
no.
Well, not we. I wasn't taken, but all those other people will never hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, and another example I could think of the way he was behaving before he ended up in the hospital or whatever happened to him was similar to that of uh, what's his name? Drawing the Iraqi dictator that they hung.
Oh, Saddam.
Oh,
Saddam, yeah.
Saddam.
You remember he was defiant until that rope dropped. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's an Ira.
yeah, there,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's his
yeah,
wife.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm hearing that she's posting in certain groups,
I saw that. I saw that.
telling people not to, you know, talk bad about him or whatever. Well, no offense.
It's a little late.
People are
It's a little
angry.
late for that.
People are angry.
I look, man, if he's in the hospital, I don't
Yeah,
want anything like that, bad to happen to people.
right.
But you reap what you sow,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you
Exactly.
sowed that pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
I
there's,
understand that some people called her directly. I guess people that knew her or somehow got their number and called and talked to her, and I guess gave her our time. I don't agree with that either. Um,
well,
I
let me say this. I don't necessarily agree with it, but if she knows how much her husband makes an hour by whatever job he works or not works,
yeah.
and he's bringing in all this money, that means she was complicit.
Yeah. How would she not notice about 50 to 100 boxes of, or however they came in of belts? They got to be all over the place.
Well, he was also using her profile. When
Oh
his
yeah.
get locked down, he would use her profile. Now, how would she not know?
Yeah.
It's her inbox. How would she not know what's being said?
Profiles. She has multiple profiles too, and he was using all of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
I
he had
mean,
three or four.
Yeah. Oh, at least.
Yeah, at least. I mean, he
you
talked
know,
about it. He talked
Yeah.
about it.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a shining example of if there's someone out there right now that may be watching this or maybe watching another podcast and they're doing this kind of activity, this is a good wake up call for you. Maybe you better stop doing it right now and start trying to make it right because over time you will get caught. You will be
Yeah.
exposed. I
There's no
guarantee
way
how
it.
out.
about
Every
you
one of
just
them.
leave the hobby? You make it right and then leave the hobby.
Yeah.
Because there are people in this hobby who don't have a lot of cash, who are paying their hard-earned money just to be able to hold something that they cherish as they were because they grew up watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all you're doing is ripping these people's money off. Like you said, I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. The guy that was eating tuna
Eric Tyler.
while
Eric Tyler.
Eric Tyler.
Yeah, this poor guy's eating freaking tuna
Yeah.
out of a
No
can.
electricity, no water.
One
Yeah.
can a day. One
Well,
can of tuna a day.
now let me say this. If and I'm this is not me judging or anything else, but if it comes down to paying your bills or buying a belt, you better pay your bills.
Yeah.
All right. Let's be real. This is great. It's cool that I can afford this, but I have to save money up for every one of these. I just don't have $300-$400 that I can just pop and go, buy one. I have to save my money up.
Oh, definitely.
Curtis, if you're talking about the guy we're talking about, watch the Pounding the Meat show from last night. It'll tell.
But if
Yeah.
he doesn't have if he didn't have electricity and he didn't have water or something, I'm not trying to sound like a total D-bag here, but your priorities are in the wrong place. You should have paid your bills first.
Well, no.
Uh,
This was money. Eddie used his PayPal.
Yeah, he had money.
Oh,
this is what
He just
happened.
Eddie didn't
Eddie
pay-
asked him to
okay,
use his
I got
PayPal.
confused on that. That's my
He
mistake.
had
My
to pay
mistake.
out of his own money the against these claims to PayPal.
Yeah,
Out of
he
his
basically
own
collected
money.
money for Eddie on his PayPal because Eddie's PayPal wasn't working for one reason or another, and Eddie didn't deliver on the belts. So these people charged this guy's PayPal back, and he was liable because he'd already given the money to Eddie.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My mistake.
No,
My
you're good.
mistake.
You're
I
good.
missed.
You're good.
No, because I came off totally
Yeah.
Yeah.
heelish
Yeah.
there, and
No.
I wasn't trying to be.
No,
I was just trying to say,
and let me point out, Eddie tried to do that with me. He hit me up several months ago. I don't remember when it was. He asked me, and I don't know if it's PayPal or Venmo or I don't remember which one it was, but he asked me, "Hey, would you mind collecting some money for me? My PayPal or whatever it is down." And I felt a little weird about that.
Yeah.
I just thought I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I made an excuse. I don't remember what the excuse was, but I just didn't feel like doing that because that's his business, not mine. And he said, "Okay, that's cool, no problem." So that could have happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, oh yeah, very much so. I mistook the conversation. That was
Yeah.
my fault because once again, like I said, I tuned in kind of late, and
But this is what he did to Eric, and Eric agreed. Eric was reluctantly agreed to do it, and he basically said, "I'll do it this one or two times, but that's it." And
Yeah.
it was enough to really put him in a hole.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, man.
Yeah, he had his
Um,
water shut down. He had his electricity shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst you could ever imagine this guy went through.
You got to watch. It was a terrible story. It was awful. And if it doesn't bring a tear to your eye,
It's a
you're not
heartbreaker.
human.
It's a heartbreaker.
What was it? I didn't get to read what that guy said. It said it's a fair comment, and then
Okay, yeah.
yeah, sorry, man. Well, I wasn't trying to come off like that. I was just saying, yeah, true. If
You
you don't have the
misunderstood the
money,
story.
yeah, I misunderstood the story. But no, if you don't have the money to pay for a belt, save up. Don't get your bills cut off. Don't go crazy, man. My first belt, I cheated, and scrimped, and did everything that I could to save
Mhm.
money. I went to one ply toilet paper. I was drinking store brand soda, Dr. K instead of Dr. Pepper. I found every way I could to scrimp and save to get my belts, and
Sure.
I still do this. I still, I'll put back $5 here, $10 there in the belt fund.
Yeah, Curtis, this was in the back of my mind when he asked me about that. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to take a moment here to recognize the guys at Culture Shock Entertainment Pounding the Meat for what they did last night for Eric. They set up a GoFundMe for him because he was basically out. I think he was out a little over $2,000 if I understand correctly, something a little
Yeah.
over $2,000.
Mhm.
And Eddie, he asked Eddie for a payment plan. Eddie made him a few small payments, got him down to about $1,600, and then just quit paying him. So the Pounding the Meat guys set up a GoFundMe account last night, and I shared this in the Wide World of Belts Facebook group for people to donate. And within, I think it was less than 2 hours, they met that goal. And last I heard, it was over $2,000.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they surpassed it. I looked in on it here a while back. I think it was only supposed to be like 1,500 or something,
okay.
and it was
Hey, Ben.
well over $2,000.
Well, Randy, you're one of most people in this hobby.
Mhm.
You know, it's kind of like the COVID. We're never going to get rid of these scammers completely. It's just not going to happen. If there's an opportunity to make money off somebody, somebody's going to find a way to do it. But this is a wake up call. This is a high profile scamming that had gone on. So if you are doing this and you know you're doing this and you see what's happening to Eddie
Over bootlegs.
over bootlegs,
Mhm.
you better cut it out right now. Stop right now. Start fulfilling your obligations to the people you've made deals with, and make it right because you will be exposed. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next month, it may not be next year, but you will be exposed. It will
It will
happen.
happen. It will happen.
Well,
Yes.
we better pray that the feds don't get involved because, like I
Yeah,
said, they can get involved and shut all this down real quick.
yeah. Thank you, Vinny. Appreciate that. By the way,
Thank you
Vinny,
for
I'm
what you
using
did,
the
Benny.
monitor you gave me. Uh, Monday Night Mark. I got that from Vinny. It's a long story. Uh,
I
but yeah,
like that
Vinny
Monday
Vinny
Night
did a
Mark.
great thing, and he did. The interview was wonderful. He was, Barbara Walters would be proud. I put it that way. It's just sad that it had to be that way. It's just really sad.
But at
Uh,
least it's out there now.
Brock Lesnar. We'll get
Hey,
to
I'm
wrestling
all
here in a
happy
minute.
for Brock. Everybody hates on Brock, and right now, coming from somebody who's barely scratched the surface of being in the business, but I'm still in the business. Um, Brock is probably the most legitimate thing that you can have for the business, as much as everybody hates him. Honestly, I would love to see Brock get like a good run, a good 3 to 4 year run with the belt, because then, and everybody's like, well, that'll suck because everybody's used to title changes every 6 months.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
it would put, first of all, it would make the championship at worth something. Um, and more importantly, with having a champion hold the belt for that long, it makes the belt worth something.
yeah,
Look at what Luthez and Bruno did, respectively, when they
Hmm.
finally did get beat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Look at how it put somebody else over, and it made those people stars. But I'm so happy for Brock, yeah,
I
because
hope we
now it
see
sets up a
more of him than
unification
we have in
match.
the past because usually he'd win the belt. We wouldn't see him for 2 or 3 months. He'd just show up
Yeah.
and F5 some guy and walk off, and we wouldn't see him actually perform until like WrestleMania.
Well,
So,
But
see,
he's but he's
but that's
face
what
Brock now. He's a
that's what
face
they
now.
used to do in the territories. Harley only came to town, on TV for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however the little program was going in that territory. Then he was gone.
well,
You know
but
what I
he
mean?
would
And you
defend the
didn't see the
belt two or
world
three
title run.
times in that time. He wouldn't just
Yeah,
walk
that's
out
true.
there
That's
and just
true.
body slam a guy and walk off, and then we wouldn't see him for
No, no,
months.
that's true. That's
Yeah, he just
true.
spend some time in there and actually perform.
But it's one of those things where he's
Yeah, I
worth
agree.
more with the belt on him than he is without it. And now that they've got the belt on him, they can do a unification match, because I think it's, and this is my opinion, I think it's stupid to have two world titles
Yeah,
in your company.
But you got two
Three
powerful
if you count.
shows. You gotta have a champion for each of the big shows. That's
yeah.
I don't get that. Why?
But don't make those
it's Vince's
titles
world.
equal. Yeah, don't make
It's
the
Vince's
titles equal.
world. In Vince's world, it makes sense to Vince.
Well, in a way, it
I,
kind of makes sense to me too because usually those two shows don't cross over, so you
Yeah.
have to have the big champion in both promotions.
well,
I,
why
I
not
get
have the
that.
champion go to both
I'll
shows?
be right back, guys. I got to let a dog in. He's scratching at the door.
Trust me, I got both of mine right here. I'm
I'll
surprised
be
you
right
haven't heard
back.
them. But for me, and this is just for me, why can't the world champion travel to both shows? Number one, it sets up different feuds for different shows, and
Hmm.
um, having two world titles. I mean, would you have put? Do you think Hulk Hogan let Vince have another world champion whenever
Oh,
he
there's
was
no way
champ?
in hell. No,
Flair,
no.
no, no, no. This having two world championships, three if you count the NXT belt, is a newer champ. Yeah, I think
See,
you're going to get a unified championship.
I just
I
hope they
like
get a
this idea
decent
too.
belt this time.
Yeah,
They should,
I love how we segue to wrestling.
like one world belt, and then each show gets a mid card title, which you feature that title as your main title on the show. That way, the world champion can float back and forth to each show.
Yeah.
And it makes actually it raises your mid card title to a higher status than just this week's champion, because that's basically the Intercontinental used to be such a prestigious belt.
Yeah,
And
the
now it's
Intercontinental and the United States, the NWA. If you were those champions, you were supposed to be first in line for the world title.
exactly. And
Now
now
that's out the door. That's don't
yeah,
you know?
they're throwaway championships.
Yeah,
And I
just
hate
props.
that.
Just props.
Yeah, and for me, because I mean, some of my favorite wrestlers never got to be world champion, but they were Intercontinental or US.
Mhm.
Rick Rude, you know what I mean? Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
There's, three major names I just named that never got to be world champion, but they were Intercontinental champion, and their reigns meant something.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I couldn't even tell you who the Intercontinental champion is on SmackDown.
Shinsuke.
Oh, is it Shinsuke? Okay, well,
Yeah.
I like Shinsuke, but at the same time, it's sad because I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the U.S. champion is. That guy from
Damian
ROH.
Priest.
Damian Priest, yeah. And it's unfortunate because, not that he's champion, let me say that. I actually like Damian Priest and I actually like Shinsuke, and I'm glad they both hold those respective belts. But those titles have become meaningless.
Yeah, who
And the
cares?
only way for me to actually see them made worthwhile again is to unify the two world titles and make each show's focus on the mid card title so the champion can travel
On the day
and
one
feud.
pay-per-view they just had, neither title was defended. Like on
Really?
many of the pay-per-views, those are hardly ever defended anymore. It's like they don't care.
It's sad, but and look at the tag team titles. I mean, and I will give New Day and I will give the Usos credit, even the Bar when they were a tag team, a little bit of a credit. But the tag team titles aren't held by really tag teams anymore. They're two singles wrestlers that get paired up most of the time nowadays.
Yeah.
Um,
Vince always has been not a fan of. He just always built to get the guys from the tag teams and turn them into singles wrestlers. That's just what he's used the tag team division for.
I mean, honestly, and this is just me. They haven't had a good tag team. Oh, sorry, buddy.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, they haven't had a good tag team. They haven't had a good tag team division since the late '90s.
Exactly.
And even then, it wasn't that great. Because they were already, doing that where they were pairing two singles wrestlers. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Kane and X-Pac, but they should never have been world tag team champions. What was the reason for putting them together? Doesn't make any sense. When you have credible tag teams in your company, and guys, I mean, look at the '80s. You had, and I'm just going to go in order, Sheik and Volkov. Then you had the U.S. Express, Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda. Then you had, I want to say,
Hammer and Valentine and Beefcake.
Hammer, yeah, Valentine Beefcake. Then the Bulldogs. Then the Hart Foundation, Strike Force, Demolition. You see where I'm going with this? You had all these great tag teams in the WWF or E nowadays, but and same with NWA, WCW, and WCW, they kind of took a crap on tag teams later on. In the '90s, it was Hall and Nash, and then there was everybody else. Mostly it was two single guys that they paired up. But in the '80s, you had, let's go back. Let's go back to the early '80s. The Russians, then the Rock and Roll Express, then the Russians again, then the Rock and Roll Express, then the Midnight Express, then the Rock and Roll Express again. Then who was it? Oh, Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez. Then the Rock and Roll Express. Then I want to say Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Then the Midnight Express again. Then the Road Warriors. Listen to all those teams I just named off. All of them were legit tag teams. And then once they got into the '90s, oh yeah, no, Harlem Heat. What happened with them? They split them up.
Yeah, well, Doom. Doom was a great tag team.
Oh, Doom was one of the best ones. The Doom Steiner feud was one of the best feuds of that WCW had
Yep.
at that point in time.
Mhm.
You had what else was going on at that time? I want to say because my memory's a little bit cloudy because it's been a few years, but you had Simmons and Vader. I mean, come on,
what about the skyscrapers?
the skyscrapers and the Road Warriors,
Yeah.
the Road Warriors and the Russians. I mean, and you had all these great tag teams, and now the tag team titles are just kind of
there.
there.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Um, I'm just people talk about how great wrestling is now. And the only reason why they say that is because they didn't grow up in the 70s and 80s.
Mhm.
Because if you grew up in the 80s and actually lived the golden era of wrestling when there were millions of people watching instead of 1 million, um, there, there was it was better.
Yeah.
They actually made contact with their moves. Um, no offense, but these guys nowadays don't. Trust me, I work in the ring. I see it. Go watch Wahoo McDaniel versus Greg the Hammer Valentine for
Mhm.
the Mid Atlantic Championship, and you tell me if that match looks real versus the stuff that gets done today.
Late 80s NWA always will be to me the best that there ever was.
Early to mid for
Exactly.
me.
Crockett.
Crockett, yes, Crockett. The best.
My
I
Georgia
love
and
it.
world class in my books. But
They
that's
were
me.
good.
World Class was definitely up there for me. I didn't start seeing World Class until like 85 or 86.
Oh, you missed the best part. Yeah.
Um, so
That's
by
about
the
when I found it. Yeah, I
by the
missed all
time,
the early Von Erich
well,
matches.
I started watching
yeah,
in
well,
late 1982.
Oh,
what see, Kerry Von Erich won the belt in what, 84?
84, yeah.
okay.
Okay, well then that was when I started watching. It was in 84 because I can remember Kerry
When
Von
they
Erich
when they
winning.
when they first went syndicated nationwide, that's about when I picked it up. Not 86 was that? I guess.
Maybe it was
Probably
86, but I can
so.
well no, I can remember Kerry Von. Okay, wait a minute. Never mind. I'm remembering seeing Kerry Von Erich win the belt, and it might have been on something else, but it wasn't World Class. But I did get to see that match on World Class syndication.
I don't know
Mhm.
So
when they went. I don't know when they went syndicated, but I
I
started
want to say
watching
86.
the later part of '82, and that was when Kerry was rehabbing a knee injury he suffered at the hands of Kabuki. And I think he had an actual knee injury, but they played it up like Ric Flair had put a bounty on a Kabuki. So I started watching about this time, and this was right before the Freebirds came on the scene.
Mm.
So I got to watch all that develop, and that was
That'd
amazing.
been great. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would have been
I'd seen the
awesome.
Freebirds in Georgia, and for them to come to world class, they were a lot closer. I could go out and see them in person. I actually ended up seeing two of them, Buddy Roberts and Michael Hayes. So,
Mm.
but yeah, I got to watch all that develop. It was great.
And you got
See,
the
I
pictures.
lived in
You
the
got the
heart of
pictures too,
Crockett
Mark.
country, and Crockett would come here to West Virginia sometimes 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And so every time they would come, I was there. So it was just one of those things. I grew up in in the Mid Atlantic territory, and then it became NWA Worldwide Wrestling, I think, or something like that, hosted by oh my gosh, now I'm having a moment. Not Gordon Soley, Bob Caudle,
Oh yeah, North
and
I love
Carolina.
Bob Cottle. He was great.
yeah, but honestly, everybody talks about how great certain announcers are, and I love JR. I used to love Tony Schiavone, but I'm really not a fan of Tony Schiavone in AEW.
No,
No, no.
He really, and this is just my opinion, he doesn't add anything. And honestly, it's kind of a turnoff hearing the announcers swear.
yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Why do
why?
they need?
I'm
Why does
not a
that need
funny.
to be there?
I'm actually very clean. Uh,
wow.
that's awesome, man. My first one was about 1980, I think. 80, 81. I don't remember when it was when Jimmy Valiant had been in and had just been there. So I want to say it was probably maybe been later than that. I don't remember. It's
Well,
such a long time ago.
this would be a good segue. Let me take care of some business first. I'm
Sure.
overdue. Uh,
Sorry.
just want to remind. No, it's okay. I just want to remind everybody this show is sponsored by Mark Leather Championship at Releathering for all your releathering needs, and by Unique Spirit. who is a pretty good belt maker. And I showed that belt last week. I've got it in my lap right now. It's finished. It's the belt of the week, and I forgot to do that at the top of the show. And I'll get to that in just a second. But
I was
there's
gonna
also,
say,
huh?
let's see that bad boy.
All right, just a second. Also, this show has been brought to YouTube in conjunction with a partnership between Wide World of Bells and the Brothers of Kayfabe podcast, based out of Oklahoma City. It's kind of a funny story how that developed. One of the guys on that podcast, Mr. Landon Bumgardner, I hope he's watching tonight. He and I met at a church camp a couple of summers ago, and we got to talking and comparing notes, and figured out we both like wrestling. So he hasn't seen my belts yet. I was showing him pictures, but he lives 2 hours away in Oklahoma City, and I need to go by there and see him sometime, show him my belt. So anyway, they are partnering on the StreamYard subscription, so we can afford to do this. So I can go to YouTube, they can go to YouTube, and oh man, I don't have one on me. I got that one back there. That's the closest one I got.
Well, I don't have any that's been re-leathered by Mark, but if you want to see a dome globe, I can make this happen.
Yeah, he can
Because
make it.
that's what
But
kind of.
let me do this first. We're gonna show the belt of the week. Then we'll,
Go
then we'll
for it.
do the
Go, you do your belt.
10 pounds of globe. Yeah,
I'm
we're
just
gonna
playing.
do,
I'm just playing.
that's right. I'm gonna show the belt of the week. Just a second. Let me find it here. I gotta click on so many things to get to it. Here it is. Here is right here, live and in person, living color.
Very nice.
This was made, as you saw in the video, by Unique Spirit. As a matter of fact, this is not my best leather work right now. I bought some cheap leather just to get this thing done, and I'm gonna redo it. But I've got two more sets of these plates coming, along with two sets of NWA TV plates, and I'm gonna show you those here in just a second. Those pictures at. There you go. These are on their way. They'll ship out tomorrow. So I will have the two US up for sale. I got one sold already, I think, and then I'll have the two TVs. But this is a good time for me to announce this. Let me look real quick, see where we're at on members. The Wide World of Belts Facebook group is currently at, I think it was 641 members. 643 as of right now. Here's what I want to do. I want to grow this group. So what I'm offering here as an incentive to invite your friends to join the group. When we get to 1,000 members, I'm going to have a belt giveaway. I want to do a belt giveaway on a brand new Unique Spirit belt on Mark Leather. So, and I got to find somebody to help me do this because I don't know how to do this. But that's the plan. Once we reach 1,000 members, I'm going to have a giveaway. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
What do you think, James? He's speechless.
That is killer. Sorry, I was muted there. Actually, man, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Reach 1,000 year. What 600 and what?
643. So we got
643.
We got less
So
than
you only
400 to
have-
go.
Yeah, you have 357 to go. That's not very far. If everybody can grow the group, and then we do a drawing for one of those belts.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be drawing. Well, yeah, it'll be a drawing. Yeah, but it'll be a free. It won't be a raffle. It'll be a free giveaway. So, yeah.
You mean this 10 pounds of gold book? I told you guys I'm
Oh.
obsessed. Sorry.
I've got one too. It's well, you can't see it, but it's right there next to the belt. a good read. It's a good read. Yeah. I'm working on strap rim right now.
Okay, I have a question for you guys, and this is one that rarely ever gets asked, at least
Hit me,
not
Curtis.
by anybody that I've seen. You have your collection, and what was the one belt that you got in your collection that when you got it, you were like, yeah, but now that you've had it for a while, you're just kind of like, eh.
Oh, that's a good question.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Honestly, and this is, this ain't anyone in the hobby with more.
Wait, I'm in a close second. I'm in a close second here.
Man, you got to understand, man. That belt represent when I was a little kid. You had to be the best of the best to even get to touch that belt. So to me, that was the great.
I
Hey, the
don't have.
Nash.
I was going to say I don't have this belt in that division, but I did re-leather one, and I was excited to do it. But I think that would get old with me real quick. It's just
The silver, is that the one you're talking about?
well, the silver with the gold. Yeah,
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 that
that
one.
one. Yeah, yeah. Let me put you on full.
Yeah, for me, honestly, one that I really, really, I just thought, man, I really got to have this belt just because it's a cool belt, not because of anything because honestly, I don't really know anything about the belt, but just one that I thought was a really cool design. And then now that I've got it, I'm kind of like it's probably my least favorite belt is my Pacific Northwest. I
Oh yeah,
really, really I obsessed over that belt. I wanted it so bad just because I thought, man, that's a cool looking belt.
yeah.
And now that I've got it, and there's nothing wrong with it, other than the fact that after I got it, it was kind of like one of those things where you got what you wanted, and it just didn't turn out to be what you wanted it to be. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Um, Honestly, I mean, I like it. I mean, it's a cool belt, but it's probably the least favorite one of my collection. That one, and I hate to say it, as much as I love my Smoky Mountain, that one because it's oversized. I'd like to get one that's actually the right size and actually jeweled properly and everything and painted properly. But I like it. But yeah, I mean, you guys don't have one that just
Vinny, I haven't done one yet. I've had a couple of people ask me, but I haven't done one yet. It's a pretty belt. National is a pretty belt. Yeah, I have one of those.
oh,
I
I
have
see.
that's
I've
what I
never owned
sold
a
to
big
buy
gold.
this Stone Globe right here was that WCW. I had the Goldberg nameplate on it. I wish I kept it.
Yeah, I've yet to own a big gold.
Oh man, I'd say the Crumb Rhine. Crumb Rhine.
Or one that I didn't have high hopes for. Ooh,
Yeah, I want to put this on mine.
the Winged Eagle, because I'm just not a
Oh,
WWF fan. It was the Winged Eagle for me. I didn't feel.
yeah.
What does that say? I can't.
Dusty
Dusty
Road.
Rhodes. Yeah, Dusty Rhodes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Road, the American Dream.
Yeah.
The American Dream,
Hard
Dusty
times.
Road,
Hard times.
Dusty Road, the
King of the
American
promo.
Dream.
King of the promo.
That man could just put on a show. I loved him. I love
Yeah,
Dusty.
he could.
Oh, he was
Uh,
great.
I wasn't a big gold guy. I wasn't. I liked it. It was okay, but I had to have one for my collection because I'm an NWA guy, and I remember seeing this one when it debuted.
Yeah.
So I ordered this one from Rizwan Mirza. Hello, by the way, if he's watching. And when it took me from May to October to get it, and it seemed like a painfully long time. But we were right in the middle of the COVID outbreak, the initial one. And so when I finally got it and opened it, I was absolutely blown away. I
Yeah.
was. It was hand engraved. The gold just stood out. It just popped, and
I
I
love
love
big
it.
gold. Seeing NWA come to town and seeing Flair, we'd get front row seats and he'd come with that big old belt and seeing it in person.
Yeah,
I knew one day I would like to. I never dreamed I have it like I do now, but I fell in love with that belt from the time I saw it.
I'm gonna put this guy
I
in
love the big
timeout right
gold.
here. He's bragging
I like the
now.
original. I
Come
like
on,
the
BA.
original on
Come
the brown
on.
strap.
He's
Um,
he's talking about the original Crumb Run too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
WCW
Yes.
though kind of tarnished the
They
big
did.
gold's legacy.
They didn't
And
treat it
then,
the way
I
the
mean,
NWA did.
and even then, the WWF didn't do it much justice either.
No,
Um,
no.
some of the people that got to hold it.
Felix, yes, this is the Rizwan brass. Yeah, and it's beautiful. You wouldn't know it was brass.
You know the one I have that let me down. Well, not let me down, but I got bored with really quick is the TNT.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan. I've not been a fan of that belt. Some people love it. Hey, that's great. But at the
you're gonna
same
love it,
time,
Felix.
I was not a fan of the old school license plate CWA world
Oh
title.
yeah.
But it's grown on me so much over the years. I think
Mhm.
I'm going to order one. No,
The
I'm
license
not
plate
joking.
belt.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's so awful. It's so awful. And at the same time, the more I looked at it,
yeah,
I was just like, man, I like the lines on the way the lines are on the side of it
yeah,
and things. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that's not really all that ugly. It's ugly, but it's kind of cool.
yeah. No,
And
Brian, I
you
was
know,
not a fan.
I
No,
didn't like that at all when they
I
sprayed
didn't either.
no.
No, that
No.
that's when belts started to be devalued, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, I wasn't, I didn't like that either.
And they made many copies of the Crumb Rind too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's so many different styles, especially after WWE got a hold of it.
Hmm.
Look how many different versions WWE made.
Okay.
I mean, once you put the big gold on an actor,
Yeah,
it was done for me. And that's why I don't own one.
yeah.
That's why I don't feel the urge to go out and buy one because as beautiful as it was,
I
Yeah,
didn't
five.
know
That
that.
sounds
how
right.
many
Five
copies?
copies.
I just say
Yeah.
5 copies. Yeah,
I
that
thought there were
doesn't
three,
surprise
but
me either.
Steiner has one supposedly to this day.
but
The original with the brown leather and white trim is always going to be the one that I like. Um, it's just that was the one, but that's why I don't honestly. I haven't really even like because everybody's like, "Aren't you going to get a big gold?" Aren't you? I'm just like, man, dude. After WCW, not really. I mean, and I hate to say this,
what do you say to that?
What can you say?
Yeah, no, I got
have
nothing.
fun,
I got
have
nothing.
fun. Glad it ain't my belt, you
Yeah.
know.
Dustin King actually does this too. He spray paints them. He made a template.
Yeah, and then Russo held it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I just, after WCW, and let me say this, and I'm going to say this, and I hope it gets a laugh because that's what it's designed to do. WCW passed that belt around like a hooker at a frat party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Okay,
did.
and then WWE did the same thing. It just, as far down as the 10 pounds of gold fell at its lowest point, um, it could still be saved. It has been
Yeah.
saved.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
the rest of them, are still sitting on Vince's shelf, not being used.
That bothers me to see an NWA world title in the WWE headquarters. It's just
Yeah.
that's
Especially that
In a
one.
crate. In a
yeah,
crate.
yeah,
Especially that one.
Yeah.
You know, I know Triple H keeps the 10 pounds of gold on his wall, and that's the one Flair sold him.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't have a problem because Flair sold it to his friend because obviously he was in financial trouble. Um, but that was a business decision between two friends, where he hangs it. That doesn't bother me so much. But what bothers me is what, Vince bought these companies and took those beautiful belts and then replaced them with basically, the logo that should go on the front of a car or a high school class ring is what it looks like. The WWE championships look
Cookie
like high
cutters.
school class rings.
yeah.
Yeah, they're cookie cutter.
Hmm.
You know, whatever
Speaking
happened.
of speaking of belt designs, did you see that Okada won the IWGP and he brought back the V5?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, wrong picture, wrong picture. I'm sorry,
yeah.
wrong
You'll make
picture.
Belt, you'll make Dan McMahon mad by doing that.
Uh-oh. You better
He's
watch out.
seen it. He's seen it. I think he got a laugh out of
He's
it.
on your trail
Yeah,
anyway,
okay,
Mark.
okay,
And
okay.
he didn't
I
design
bet.
it. Somebody told me he didn't design it. He just made
I
it.
thought he did design it. Oh, he just made it. Okay, I thought it
Yeah,
was
he
Did.
his
made it to their
design too.
specifications. Now he did a beautiful job. I'm not knocking Dan McMahon at all.
Hmm.
No, I
But
know, I know. I was just
I,
laughing at
I
the meme. That was great.
I was I was watching TV one night, and a Raid commercial came on, and this logo popped up, and I thought that looks like the V5.
It does look
So,
like the V5,
it
man. The
does.
V4, and I'm not even really into New Japan all that much, but the V4 just, I don't know, man. That thing just looks
I love mine.
amazing, and then
My
to
favorite.
I
replace it
want
with,
one. I do. It'll be the last
It's a
one I
piece of
get,
art.
but I want one.
well, and I'm not, and once again, I'm not taking, knocking what anybody has made or anything else, but the V4 makes the V5 look like a women's title,
Yeah.
my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah, Raid.
Raid!
If you want to design a belt, just go raid your kitchen cabinets for a logo.
No, here's my plan. I'm
Exactly.
one
This
of
is
the promotions that I work for um, is looking to get their belts,
Oh.
get new belts to replace their old belts, and I've been kind of put in charge of finding a maker that'll do a good job for reasonable prices because we're looking if they do us right on one belt on our heavyweight championship, we will come back for two more singles titles and tag team championships. The tag team titles probably first after the heavyweight. But we're looking for makers for a maker that can do us a pretty good deal on the design. But basically, instead of designing anything new, because honestly, I don't like anything that anybody's designed here as of recently. I'm going to Frankenstein a bunch of pieces off of old belts and create a new belt out of it. Create a Frankenstein championship for the promotion. Um,
Well,
what I would no,
this is the same guy that wants a CWA belt.
I'm dead serious. I'm gonna take certain plate designs and
Yeah.
certain pieces off of like I'd like to steal the bottom of the television title
Uh-huh.
and replace what you know what I'm saying and put
Yeah.
it on in the same spot but not have this design of the belt.
Right.
Um, just little things like that. Not so much the plates being the same, but designs off of the plates and creating said belt from those already designed.
To answer Brian's question, the UFC belt's pretty not the new one, but the original one.
Yeah, the
And then
legendary UFC belt.
the
Definitely. love it.
Bellator belt is really nice too. I like the Bellator belt.
I like the old WEC belts. If anybody remembers W World Extreme Cage Fighting,
Yeah.
I like those belts. I thought those were pretty cool.
Yeah, the V4 grew on me. When I first saw it, I didn't like it, but it grew on me. But that V5, I just
Yeah.
after seeing that Raid can, I just can't. I don't know. It, it's
I'm
not
with you there,
dog ugly.
Felix. I don't
It
have an
isn't.
emotional attachment either.
It's
Yeah.
just no comparison to the V4. No comparison at all.
The V4 has a lot of tradition to it. It looks like a classic belt.
It lists all the champions. I mean,
Hello. I can't translate that. Is that what?
Yeah.
no answer for me on that.
I don't even know what language that is. But
Yeah.
glad you joined us.
Any
Yeah.
translators
Thanks for
watching
joining
tonight?
us.
But glad you joined us wherever you're from. I'm going to
Yeah.
guess Bulgaria or Slovakia or something. I don't know.
Mars.
But, great to have you watching. And by the way, Nor, we'll pray for you on the floods.
Yeah,
Nor's
definitely.
over there in Malaysia, and they're having flooding, and he's having intermittent internet issues. So
Oh yeah. We're not getting flooded. I'm
Is that-
getting
is that
buried
for-
in
is that
snow.
true?
So
is that true? Okay.
who is this?
The guy was just commenting he's talking
Yeah.
about. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy.
I didn't know.
Me neither.
Yeah, no clue.
Anything's possible these days.
Yeah, we're not here to hash that stuff out. This is not the
No,
forum for that.
we're here to have fun, guys.
Yeah.
No, I was joking.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, I blocked him, so
Whoops.
I
Whoops.
can't unblock him. Sorry about that.
Not for 30 days.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. I just welcomed the guy and blocked him.
Mark, come on.
My bad. I got to figure out how to. Yeah. Some of these names I don't know, but
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about us being on YouTube, and then here I
Yeah,
am
we're on
talking
YouTube
about
now,
getting a
yeah.
belt made.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is our
don't
first time on YouTube.
contact me. I have people I already want to contact over this.
Yeah, we're we're glad to have. If you're watching on Facebook, move over to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
Yes. Yes.
You don't have to click on the StreamYard link.
Yeah.
And you actually will see your names whenever you guys comment too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you post from Facebook, your names don't come up.
Yeah. What's this guy's name? Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won the NXT title. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, Braun. Let's not call him Steiner, which will give him all the recognition that he would ever need.
Yeah.
Let's call him Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Which brings up the story today. They let a bunch of NXT people go today, and otherwise.
Oh, Snore. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Is that the way it is? Okay. We're going to get him on the show one of these days. He's going to get a camera. We'll get him on a show. Your phone will work if you can connect to the internet. Oh, I'd have to say
Late 80s NWA.
Yeah.
Just late 80s.
Yeah.
When was the last time most of the current championship belts look prestigious?
With current
Late
current,
80s,
Late
definitely.
current championship belt.
And now, as far as current champions go, Nick Aldis with the 10 pounds of gold. He held it for 3 years straight. People say he didn't defend it against anybody. He go back and look at all of his defenses. He beat most of the AEW roster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not sorry.
Can't argue with that.
I defend the promotion I love. Sorry, guys.
I had.
Well, it's not bias. It's truth. It would be different otherwise. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm biased too. I thought of something. I didn't write it down on my little itinerary, but I thought of this right before the show. Kazuchika Okada is the IWGP champion. How many times has he held that belt?
Jeez.
Oh, it's like what, 4 now?
That sounds about
Okay.
right.
Well, would you say he is the Ric Flair?
I see. I can't say that because I don't watch New Japan. Honestly, I don't. And I'm probably one of the few guys on the planet. I'm not into seeing two dudes stand there and trade punches.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do anything for me. And their matches take. Let me say this. I work in the business, so I don't want to sit there and like push myself away, and turn people off because I want people to come see us, do our thing.
Yeah.
I don't like watching promotions that no sell moves that would kill somebody if it was an MMA fight. And New Japan is horrible for that. AEW is horrible for that. Case in point, because I don't really watch New Japan too much, but I did watch an Will Ospreay match in New Japan when it was coming on. I forget what channel it was. Here on Suddenlink. We don't have the channel anymore. That channel's gone. But we were getting it on Saturday night. So here I am Saturday nights, like, yeah, I'm tuning in because I never get to watch New Japan. I watched Will Ospreay take a brain buster on concrete, beat the 10 count to get back into the ring, survive multiple strikes via punches, kicks, knees, elbows to the head, get DDT'd in the ring and kick out, then turn around and win the match. It is that to me, that would have killed.
Yeah.
In real life, it takes 15 pounds of force to break bone. If you drop your body weight on top of your body weight on top of your head onto the ground, you will be concussed. If you add in the body weight of another person, forcing your body weight on top of it, so add another 200 pounds on top of it, onto concrete, that was a major turnoff for me. AEW does that a lot with those. You'll see moves just kill, everybody kick out of a move that would kill somebody in real life, then get beat by a roll up, just like Wednesday night with the Lucha Brothers and Jurassic Express. This is the part where everybody, Jim's turning heel in the podcast. I'd much rather it be like the 80s where a chair shot ended the match and somebody was concussed after a chair shot and they were gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it's believable.
Yeah. This right here.
What's the point of a finisher if it doesn't finish anyone?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I watched
It
the
doesn't
New
do
Japan.
anything. Too many false finishes.
Yeah. And oh Kenny Omega was one of the worst of them over in New Japan. He kind of made a claim, and I like Kenny Omega. He's very athletic, very very talented, but he was more of a showman than anything.
Well, here, okay, and I don't want to beat up Kenny Omega or AEW anymore. Let's just talk about the business. In the '80s, when you saw less no selling and more, when somebody got put through a table, they were gone for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, and came back, you had higher ratings. You had more people tuning in. The
Yep.
reason why casual people don't watch wrestling anymore is because they see a bunch of hokey crap.
Bunch of
Okay.
bullshit. Bunch of bullshit.
Thank you. I'm trying not to cuss. I cuss like a sailor in real life,
And
guys.
call it like
And
it is.
I do my very best not to cuss on the show because I think that's a detractor. And I don't want people to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bunch of horse shit.
Mhm.
And you no sell so much. You know, here anymore, you have to bring a gun into the ring or hit them with a freaking truck to get a pin, or hit a roll up because it's the deadliest move in pro wrestling right now. Because you know that 750 splash off the top rope, you know that would knock the breath out of anybody, especially if you drop a 200 pounds of anything on top of anybody. In real life, this is the problem. Wrestling needs to go back to doing things that would actually cause real pain in real life, because then regular people would start watching it again. Because my dad was never a wrestling fan, but he watched it with us, and it was believable in the '80s. And then after we got older, and me and Dad would hang out and go, let's watch wrestling. He's like, I can't watch this anymore. He said back then it was it was believable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they can work it. If you see 5 million false finishes, it's not exciting anymore.
No.
Right.
That's the whole point of it. It's a work. We all know it's a work. But when
It's
you
like
see
the boy that cried wolf. How many false finishes before you actually believe it's going to happen?
I hate a million false finishes. I hate the roll up, and I hate fight forever. Clap, 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 clap. That's the stupidest thing in the world, man. You want a winner. You want something big, and like seeing Jungle Boy get the pin on a roll up after they did all this insane
Mhm.
crap to each other that would break a person's neck in real life. If you actually pick somebody up and slam them on their neck, it'll break.
Mhm.
And then you see them no sell it and kick out, no sell it, kick out, just to get beat by roll up. Lame. And sorry to turn heel on the podcast today of all days, but we're touching on subject that I actually care about. I love professional wrestling, and people don't understand why the viewership is down. You want to know why AEW can't get past 800,000 viewers? It's because they do stupid crap like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And
That's
Brant,
fine.
I'm sorry, guys. My apologies.
You
No,
got
I do this all the time to you guys, and I go off on a tangent or something, and then I take over, and
You
it's
got
just like it's
and you got the young bucks doing their gymnastics every week. It's the same
they're
crap.
egregious.
The difference here in this statement right here is because back when Steamboat and Savage were in their heyday, it was a different audience. This is before the internet. This is before social media.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing about Steamboat and Savage. They didn't have the same match over and over with 25 different people.
True.
I mean, I'm sorry, man, but when you have some dude that nobody's ever heard of going toe to toe, move for move with CM Punk on a show, and CM Punk struggling with this guy that nobody's ever heard of, it doesn't do them any justice.
Yeah.
It's not a different time. It's called believability. That's why nobody watches anymore, because nobody makes contact and nobody believes the crap that they're trying to sell. Go back and make it more about the championships and less sports entertainment and less diet sports entertainment, and I bet you money that the viewership goes up. And what do we got to lose?
Storytelling.
What do you
is
got
so
to lose?
Needed.
Nothing.
Storytelling.
Because there's nobody watching anyway.
The storytelling is not like it used to be. It was the best. And the NWA. I know I keep saying it, but they were the best at storytelling in the late '80s.
They had you believing.
Yes.
Too. They had you believing. The
Yep.
the promos were a lot better. I like the promos better when they had the guy holding the microphone in the ring or on a set just off to the side there.
Or at the podium, standing there. Well,
Yeah.
how do you feel about this, so and so? Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Mean Gene. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
You didn't
Come on,
have
guys.
this guy giving a promo, then he looks over and the camera pans over to the other guy just sticking his face and goes, "You talking about me?" They didn't do that.
No.
No. And it's every freaking time.
You believed
Yeah.
every word they said.
Yeah. And I can respect that. I mean, it's a different audience now. If
Mhm.
and I can almost guarantee
The
you
reason
that
why
if
it's a
these
different
people are
audience
saying
is
this
because
stuff,
they've had a diet of crap for the last 20 years. Try it my
But-
way. What do you got to lose? Nobody's watching anyway. I'm just saying.
if watched, they would be saying something different. Just like if I grew up in their era, I would probably be saying what they're saying right now. It's just different generation. That's the way it goes.
Mhm.
I can respect that. Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is when Seth Rollins is maniacally cackling like he's Skeletor, that's not believable. Whenever you got these idiots who have their mom drive them to a wrestling show,
That
that's
was
not
good.
believable.
That was good, Jim.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, sorry guys, I'm grabbing a drink.
That's all right. I'm gonna show a picture in a
I'm
second.
just saying, it's one of those things where where can we draw if we take it back and treat it like a sport? No, you can't make it kayfabe real anymore. I get that. Okay, nobody's gonna believe that it's real. All right,
Drew,
but
I apologize, but here we go.
but
This is what it's all about right here.
if instead of doing these stupid shows where it's scripted and you got these guys going, I'm going to be the leader of Raw, or I'm going to get my mom to take us to the show so I can beat you up. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
This
It's
right
not a
here.
product. It's the product of a maniacal idiot and some dude that's such a mark that he wants to hang out. He bought his own living toys.
I agree with
That
this statement though that you can't reproduce the anticipation. And I brought this up before. Back when we watched it, the show was on Saturday night, or
Yeah. Saturday
it was a
morning.
pre-taped
Saturday
show on
morning.
Saturday night. They had the event on Sunday, and you didn't know what happened until the following Saturday.
Mhm.
We didn't have dirt sheets or anything like that.
Oh no! All we had was the magazines.
Yeah, exactly. And
that
they
was
only
after-
come out once a
well after
month.
the fact.
They came out once a month.
Yeah, but that was the only way we got insider information.
Yeah.
Was by going to the magazines.
Well,
they
that, but at the
kayfabe
same
that
time,
too.
you know what? I mean, the thing is like we've been gifted for the last 20 years with a product that has basically been, if I,
Yep. The anticipation was agonizing, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yep.
no, but to see that was just it. You kept coming back.
Oh yeah.
Now we've got instant gratification. Look, man, everybody talks about this, man. Bring back the squash match. Doesn't have to be every show or every match. But if you want to get somebody over, have them come out and squash. Look what they're doing for Wardlow, right? On AEW. He's coming out and he's beating these nobodies into pace. That's how you get somebody over. Then you make him beat somebody that's worthwhile.
Right.
I don't want to sit here and say I know how to fix wrestling because I don't. But I know what I've been taught, and I've seen what doesn't work for the last 20 years.
Yep. Me too, Randall.
Yeah.
Saying,
Same here.
yeah, exactly. Man, that's somebody
I
we should get
I
on here
miss
too,
those
is
days
Randall.
So I miss those days.
Yeah,
so
I'll get Randall on here
bad.
sometime.
So bad. I miss those days.
We got 35 minutes. Randall, if you want to come on, I'll send you a link.
Mhm.
Abby, stop.
I know Randall can talk.
Yeah. Mhm.
Randall's good people.
But
They do
everybody's like,
nothing
it's
to
all
make
about
us-
the style. It has nothing to do with the style. It's all about the presentation.
They do nothing to
And-
make us
and-
want to tune in the next time to see because granted they can get the information off the tapings or whatever on the internet, but they're doing nothing to make us want to tune in.
I mean, let me say this. And there are some things that they do get right. Eddie Kingston. I wanted to see him and CM Punk go at it, even though I knew CM Punk would win the match. Because they let Eddie Kingston talk.
That's the problem. It's scripted
Yeah, the
nowadays.
script.
That's my point.
Vince's script.
Wrestling is not script, and don't think that AEW isn't scripted either, because they are. They workshop their promos, Cody Rhodes. That's called scripting. That's when you take it around and you run it
Okay.
past other people.
Sorry, Randall.
You practice it.
booster symptoms. I've heard of her.
Oh,
Sorry,
buddy,
Randall. Sorry,
when
Randall.
I got my booster, man, it didn't. I walked around with a headache the next day, and I got chills really, really bad whenever I got mine. But 24 hours later, it was over.
I've been
So
back and
yeah, the
forth on
booster
getting the
hangover.
booster. I haven't decided yet.
Same here, Mark. I've heard so
I've
many
been
Well, let
bad
me
wanting to
things
get
say
it.
this.
about it.
I'm not trying to be political or anything else. I had a friend of mine who passed away.
I
Somebody
remember
who
you
I
saying that last
personally
week.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and things. So I'm, without being political or anything else, I don't listen to what the talking heads on TV say. I don't listen to what politicians say about when it comes to health. I listen to what doctors say. And if your doctor says that you probably should get one, then you probably should. If your doctor says that you probably shouldn't because of whatever health reasons, then you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But, if there's anything, all I'm saying is I'd rather, all my friends be safe and be healthy and be alive.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I've gone back and forth. I'll make a decision here pretty soon, but it's just the last thing I heard was they want us to get the vaccines, get the boosters, wear a mask, stay home. I'm like, why get vaccinated if you have to stay home anyway? That just, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think
Well,
they know
well,
what the game plan is.
well, let me say this: vaccines aren't force fields. Okay. There's
Right.
this big thing that, and this is something that the media has run with because certain, proponents that are against it, make it sound like, well, it's supposed to be like a magical force field. No, what it does, the vaccine does, is it exposes you to the virus, which
Yeah.
means if you get exposed to the virus later on, you already have the pathogens in your body to help fight it. Instead of
Yeah.
starting at zero, you're starting at like 75 going to 100
Right.
instead of zero
Yeah.
going to 100. So, and this is just something because I have friends who are doctors who I talk to. I have friends who are nurses who I talk to, and I'm not a virologist. I don't know anything about this stuff. I just listen to the people who are or who do have contact with these people, and I just don't want any of my friends to get sick and die because I've already lost a couple of people.
I get
I
that.
don't
I
want to
get that.
lose any.
Yeah, I get that. We all want that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That that is Jim's medical moment,
yeah,
brought to you by Pepsi.
yeah. We better give them credit for that. I don't want to get shut down. That's
Yeah,
that's
no, that is
that's
no.
yeah, that's the end of my itinerary. I don't have anything else to talk about. Do you? What about you guys?
Has anybody seen like anything belt related that's just jumped off the page at you? That you're like, oh wow, that's really cool.
Hmm.
There
I
is actually. Um, there is a guy, and I think his name is Stephen Fay, who advertised. You remember those? Lane has one. The old
I know what you're talking about.
Stockman's belt. Yeah, that
Yeah.
little trophy belt.
It was in all the
There's a maker
magazines.
that remakes those.
really,
Yes, I'll send you a picture that I screenshotted. So I didn't watch GWF. I didn't like USWA either. I was just
no,
too.
I was a big Smoky Mountain fan. I didn't get USWA, um, so I don't really know too much about it. I got to see a couple of USWA things that was Smoky Mountain related after Smoky Mountain folded, but I don't really know too much about it. I would love to watch it though. GWF was on ESPN for a minute back in the day, but it was on and gone almost as quickly as it came, and I really that's actually how I saw that's where I first saw the Patriot, and that's how I became a big fan just because I thought, he was kind of like the Captain America of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where I saw it was ESPN. But
They
yeah,
were they were the ones out of the Sportatorium in Dallas, correct?
yes, they
Okay.
took over after World
After World
Class, I
Class
guess, had
folded.
closed
Yeah.
its doors.
Yeah.
For me, the shop WWE shop just released WCW
Yeah,
91,
91,
94.
94.
Send myself a picture
Um, I saw it. Actually, it looks pretty nice. I think I've seen better boots.
Yeah.
But this is the
Better.
shop's first go around with it, I think. So because I'm not really sure. I'm
500
also,
bucks.
I'm 500 bucks.
I think it's four or five. I think it's 400 bucks.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
I'll probably just have one made at some point.
Yeah.
Steve
because
talked to me.
I need a I call that the Vader Championship, and I'm a
Mhm.
big Van Vader fan, and
Yeah.
I really need to get that belt just because.
Randall is having a beautiful Vader version of that made right now
Oh, I know with the red
with the Vader plate on it. The Vader plate on it.
yes, he's got the red lacing going through it.
Yes.
It looks gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Yes.
I didn't. I honestly, I'm not. I'm one of those guys. I don't like changes too much to belts. I don't like too many customizations. But that popped. That
Yeah.
really popped. It stands out.
Yeah. Mayon's doing a real good job on that.
Give me
But
just
I definitely would like to
keep
get one of
talking.
those, and maybe not a shop version. But I saw that it made me, kind of re lit that fire for the WCW just because of
Sure.
Vader.
I'm
And I
working
guess
on
I should
something.
get a crumb run for Rick Rude too,
Hmm.
because
Give
he
me just
was.
a second. I'm working on something here. Just a second. A couple of pictures here.
Yeah, I don't know if you know it or not, Jim, but Rick Rude is buried with the 25th anniversary tag belt.
Yeah.
Yes, as a matter of fact, when I heard that, because those were my favorite versions of the belt.
Me too.
I like the ones. Yes, I want that. You have
Yeah.
no idea. Like 13-year-old me wanted that thing so bad.
Yeah.
Like you
That's
have
it.
no idea. Like my mouth now is salivating for it. It's just seeing that.
Gianni, I see your message. I'll get to you in just a little bit. I'm gonna do this first. But I want to show one more thing here. We were talking about world class, the sportorium. This was taken back in November. That
See
is
that and that
that's the side of the sportorium,
man.
downtown Dallas.
No, no, Mark. If you said this in the past, forgive me, but why did they go from on the Texas? Why did they go from the yellow and red to the blue and red?
The story I heard was that it was Jarrett. When Jarrett took over the promotion, he
Okay.
changed the color scheme.
Oh, simple
I
as
don't
that.
remember who
Okay.
told me that, but that's the story I was told.
Okay.
I don't care for the red and blue. I prefer the red and gold because that was the original color scheme.
Okay.
But that's the story I got on it.
Yeah, I don't even remember the red and blue, to be honest with you. The only one I remember is the red and gold.
Yeah, that was the original color. I've got a picture of Gino Hernandez with that belt on. I don't have it.
Yeah, I remember your pictures. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find it on my phone. I'll put it up here.
I wonder who has the
Not the one I took.
I wonder who has the world class belts. Does anybody know?
I wonder. I don't know. I meant to ask
You
John
know,
Mantell
I
when I
hate.
was there, but
I
at the Hall of Fame. But
If it would be some of the maybe Carrie's daughter or
I would
Kevin.
hope it would be
Yeah,
Kevin, but
Kevin.
I'm willing to bet that it's a Jarrett that probably has them.
Yeah.
If not, then it's probably Vince.
$189
And
is what I think I saw. I missed some comments here. I'm sorry. I was looking for some pictures.
if it's
All right.
$180 for that or $190 for that belt, I'm in. As a matter of fact, I might have a change made to it because I don't really want the stars and bars on there because I have friends who um, are of different colors and they're not fond of that, and I'm
Yeah.
really, I don't want to. But at the same time, that thing is, man, dude. Randall, I'll say this now, man. I can remember being a kid and seeing that belt and thinking if I could get my hands on that thing, the whole world would change for me.
And back
I was
then,
like, I was
back
obsessed with
then,
getting it.
never did we ever dream we'd have the belts that we have right now.
No, man. Look, okay, this is no lie. I discovered wrestling belt reviews just because I'd been once again I started going to the indie shows and started getting involved with the guys and starting to. Bill
That's
Moody said he had a couple.
that's Paul
Yeah,
Bearer. Yes, he does
yes.
have the
Oh, he
tags. I
does.
think.
So his children
His
must have
family,
not
or,
been
well, I
bad.
was going to say, then again, they could have sold him to Vince afterwards. Who
Yeah.
knows?
That could
Mhm.
be. That could be.
But in 2019, when I saw the opportunity to get my first to actually hold the belt that Harley and Flair held, when I was a kid, that was the one that mattered more than anything, as
Yeah.
to me.
I didn't
And
think about. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, no, 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 I'm just saying. Well, you brought it up. Little did I know that I'd actually be able to lay my hands on one, and
Yeah.
then lay my hands on one and call it mine.
Yeah. Never did you ever dream. I know I didn't. Yeah.
you know. And here I am, not only, and now here's the cool thing, not only do I get to hold the ones, but then there's the ones like the TV title and the United States title. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And all the ones that mattered to me as a kid. Now I don't have all, but I'll hopefully will have them. I'd like to get an AWA oak leaf, the one that came after the inmate. I call it the oak leaf because it's
Oh
designed.
yeah, yeah. Actually,
Um,
that I think that was the original design of the belt before the inmate.
It was. It's a remake of one Byrne had from like I want to say all the way up to like from the '60s into the '70s until they got the inmate.
Yeah.
And but I'd like to have the I call it the Hennig Lawler version of the belt. I'd like to have that AWA strap. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, I remember that. That's how I knew of Jim.
Yeah, this one is on. This is the world class heavyweight, the big one. That's on display somewhere in Israel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, they were way
in arena.
over in Israel. I don't know how that happened,
Yeah, I don't
but
get
I
that
guess
either, but they were big time.
Yeah.
like they even had like shows over in Israel and like of all the places that at that point in time Israel was not as safe as what it is now, you know.
Yeah.
And they were having shows over there. Meanwhile, bombs are getting dropped all around.
Mhm.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. They
But
would. They would
that's
take.
how over they were though.
They had those battery operated TVs, and they couldn't get the signal for world class in town. They had to go up on the hill with a battery operated TV to watch wrestling.
Hey,
Eh,
you got to do what you got to do if you're a
Yeah.
fan. Man, I can remember being a kid and I'd be told like,
Didn't know that.
yeah, that is right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Um, but that belt is one I definitely want to have. For another one, I think I'm eventually going to get is the WWF Bulldog tag.
I had
Um,
that sweet belt.
Either the bull. Well, I don't know if it's the Bulldog one or whatever. I want the one that the Road Warriors have.
Yeah.
That's the one I want because
We,
I'm.
I hate to interrupt. We have somebody going to join us for the last part of the show. He's got a new
Okay.
belt and he wants to show it off.
Oh my.
How are you, Jim and company? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Jim
I
and
was-
Company.
I was calling Jim. What was that? Who was I calling Jim? I was calling Jim someone else, right?
Jeff,
yeah,
you called
you-
me Jeff,
Jeff,
the other
Jeff.
day or so.
I sincerely apologize, sir.
It's okay. I've been called way worse. Believe me.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's right.
yes,
He did do that.
yes.
Did
Mr.
you see
Joseph-
my rant earlier? I'm sure you could come up with a couple of names for me after that wrestling rant.
Sir, I will rewatch it, man. A pleasure to speak with you, honestly. But as I came on here for, Andy already saw it. Well, he saw the bag, but yeah. Hold on.
Left handy holding the bag.
Yeah. Something like that.
All right, let's see it. Oh,
Yes, I want to get one so freaking bad. Now that is a WWF belt that I will own one day.
Look at this.
is that
Thank-
2mm brass?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you, Chris George, if you're watching. I mean,
Now is that a shop?
yes, and honestly, it's very well made. It's heavy. I mean,
Look at that floppy metal there.
yeah, floppy like a gone poppy, as Mr. Sabia says. Hold on a minute. I want to drop it.
Yeah, he's Mr. 10 pounds of gold. That thing's got to be
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah. But if you look at it, man, like
Very nice.
just in time for Ted
Nor that's an
DiBiase.
inside joke.
Yes. Ted DiBiase Jr. Yes. No, and it's not going to be. Thank you, Brian. It's
Yeah,
going
as
in-
close as I can get is the Jack Pacific.
I have one of those actually. Oh, look at that. That's actually worth some money.
Yeah, I found this out. But unfortunately, somebody stuck Velcro all over it. So
Where?
no.
Where at? That could be fixed though.
Let me put you back up there.
That could be fixed.
but I plan on not doing anything with it. You know, she I got her.
Ooh, is that the Impact Dumb Globe behind you in the box?
Yes.
That's worth some money.
Yeah, I want one of those. They're hard to find.
Actually, I came close to buying a second one here a while back, and now I regret not doing it because I can't find it now.
Mr.
Hello,
But
Carmine.
I'm a tad
Hello, Carmine.
Send
Dome
him a-
Globe obsessed.
Send him a link, Mark.
Yeah,
link?
come on in.
Yes,
Come on,
send Carmine a link.
Okay.
Love
Send
it.
him a
Let's
link.
get that Carmine rub.
Get that
Why not? Why
hodgepodge
not?
from New Jersey.
Yes.
Gotta get the seal of approval. Now my viewership will go up.
There you go. It already went
Gotta
up
find
because
him.
I'm on here. There
Here
you
he
go.
is. Okay. There he is.
So,
All right, send him the link.
yeah. Let's see if he shows.
Oh, he'll show.
Yeah.
He'll show.
Yeah, John, you
So-
were here earlier. I'm gonna show off this belt I got. I got 2 more of these coming. 2 sets of plates coming.
Are you sending that to me?
No, I'm not sending
Oh.
it to you.
Johnny.
I'm kidding.
Dude.
Beautiful. Beautiful, man.
That is nice.
I
I'll
have
show you-
one.
I forgot to show off a couple of features on this real quick. Let me get
I'll have to.
screen it.
Oh, look
Oh,
at
look
that.
at that. I
Got the
love
NWA
that.
stamped on the strap.
I have a question for you, Mark.
Okay.
How hard is it to get the snaps to line up? Because that
Yeah,
would
that-
be one of those things where if you barely mess up even one, it looks like it would not be right. You know what I mean?
For me, it's not that hard. I use a template. Oh, there's Carmine
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Welcome.
oh,
making his YouTube debut for the 3rd time this week.
I'm exhausted. I'm annoyed. I come on here to
Thank
get a
you.
little relaxation, and I see this hodgepodge of nitwits and degenerates.
And Gianni.
This entire show is a cesspool, and pissing on it would do it justice.
But how do you really feel?
I got him yesterday, Ben, by the way.
Ben Walker in the house. What's going on?
Yeah.
Ben, of course, a lot of people don't know this about Ben. His middle name is Sky.
Middle name is Sky.
I got that.
Ben Sky Walker.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I chuckled. I got it.
A little slow on the uptake there, aren't we, pal?
Yeah.
Might
But
be a
to
little-
answer Jim's question, I use a template. I get them spaced the same distance every
Yeah,
time.
nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody cares.
I do.
Listen, the fucking entertainment's here now, okay? Relax.
Well, it got
And,
17
yeah, the
minutes
fucking
left.
entertainment's here and Carmine Sabia. So there you go.
Oh, really?
Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, really?
No, not really. Not really.
Johnny, he shouldn't have said that.
Not really, boss. Not really.
You're dumber than a box of donuts.
Okay. What's up, Ben?
I'm gonna have him back on the show.
I'm selling things over here. Now I'm like Eddie Williams, except I actually ship the product. But I'm doing deals while I'm on the air.
Yeah, we talked about the elephant in the room.
I,
And then,
actually,
Yeah.
I just finished eating, Brian. You know, I talked to Eddie's ex-wife not too long ago, and I asked her. I said before everything happened, and I said, "Why'd you guys split up? You know, he seems like a nice guy. Or why'd you guys split up?" He said, "He used to steal the covers." And I was like, "That's the same like reason to fucking get divorced." She's like, "No, you don't understand. He literally stole the covers, left town, drove away, covers in the car. He stole the covers." So, it's a whole different thing. What in the
Wow.
fuck?
That was the elephant in the room.
How's my camera look today? Besides, as for on Tuesday.
Well, the only problem is you're in the picture.
It's
Well, I mean,
it's,
yeah,
it's HD, hideous display.
You're still in the picture, so it's all how you look at it, right?
It's clear. Yeah.
But
Jeff, you see Dusty with the dumb globe right here.
I was actually going to
Yep.
go live tonight, and I saw Mark was on. I didn't want to steal your 3 viewers, but
we appreciate that.
I'm in double digits.
teasing you.
A lot more viewers than Sandwich and Pickles.
Just tell people.
Well,
Karma.
we're hoping to get that Sabia rub, man. That's
Yeah.
what we're hoping to get
Save
that
your
rub.
rub, yeah.
He's
No,
not,
well, Mark does like when I rub him, but
he's not that type of guy.
I'll tell you, the hobby seems a little cleaner and fresher today, and we're working on it. We're working on it. There's going to be it's going to be a long road, and
Well,
This will be a good thing. In the long run, it'll be a good thing.
I spoke to the chief of police of Eddiestown today, the chief of police. And, I thought, nothing's going to happen from this, right? Because it's the internet. Da, da, da. No, they're seriously investigating. I mean, he gave me a lot of information, a lot that I didn't know yet, and I gave him some information that he didn't know yet. So we're going to be helping him. So if anybody out there has been scammed by Eduardo Williams, please contact me or Randall
Nice, Drew.
or somebody, and we will get you in
Little
touch
late.
with the proper authorities.
Little late, Drew. I'm sorry. I just now saw the picture.
That's nice.
You don't put somebody's picture over me when
I'm
I'm
sorry.
talking.
I'm
Drew,
sorry.
it's Drew Boyer.
Yeah, Drew.
Yeah.
Well,
He's a loyal viewer.
Well,
Of course, being the only other owner of
what
a.
really scares me,
Oh,
Carmine, and this is something that I have, um, worries about for the hobby, as Eddie doing what he did draws unwanted attention to things that, let's be honest, bootlegs are illegal.
well,
And
put it
and
this way. Put it this way, Jim. Is it Jim?
yes,
Jim. Let me put it this way. In speaking with the officer and explaining to him what it is we do here, I can tell you that at least from this police officer's perspective, they don't give a flying monkey's dick about what we're doing. They don't care.
well, here's what concerns me though is it's interstate, right?
Commerce.
You've got
Interstate
money from
commerce.
other states crossing state lines through
Which means it's federal.
exactly.
And
And that's what scares me
federal,
because they can shut this down.
there's only
All
one.
these,
There's only one group of people that can shut this down, and I'll explain that to you off the air, and then I'll explain to you why they won't. But you can message me off the air. I'm not going to give ideas to people here.
Right.
oh no,
That's
no,
right.
no.
The only other man that owns a BAM World Championship right there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
For the time being, Drew, I'm coming for you.
But I promise you that what we're doing is small potatoes, and we're not a threat to anybody. It's not like the people that are sending in cargo ships of fake Gucci bags. It's not what we're doing. We're a niche hobby. It's not going anywhere. Even if you took all the middlemen out, the sales would still happen, and buying it is not illegal. So at least I think. I'm not a lawyer. I couldn't tell you, but it's just not something they're going to pursue. It just doesn't. Eddie could have been pursued because he was doing it in such a gigantic quantity. His problem is that he can't flip on anybody because he is the big fish.
Yeah.
He was the biggest fish. What I think the hobby needs to learn is never again can one person be entrusted with the power this man was entrusted with. You shut your mouth, Ethan Thompson, if you're watching. I saw what you said. Never again can somebody be entrusted with this much power, this much, an admin in this group, a mod in this group. You can't have that. You can't have. It was a mistake to give one man that kind of power. It went to his head, but he did it in such a way now that I can see it strategically. But he did other things very, very strategically that we don't know about yet. I know about it. I think Randall knows about it. And maybe Nick knows about it. I don't know if I told him. There's a handful of us that actually know what he did. We're going to talk about it tomorrow night on the final episode of the Dirt Sheet, the 963. Ben Walker, I would love to have you come on tomorrow night with us if you're available at 8 p.m. He's just another guy who was, there was a couple of us that, PTM and a couple of us that stuck our necks out to get this going. And
I said it earlier. What happened last night on PTM was amazing. How much money have they raised up to date so far?
It was over 2,200 last time I checked.
Okay, I heard 2,000, so we're still growing. Okay.
The show last night was fantastic, gut wrenching, sad, but fantastic. And then the post show, if you will, was also fantastic. Thank you, Carmine, and Joe and Ethan.
I was going to go live tonight because there's a lot of things I want to say.
Well, we're going to end the show here in about 10 minutes, so you have all the opportunity to do that. So,
well, it's after what I found out today, and But I don't know. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow night with Joe Vitanza. Because I feel like watching the Rankin Bass version of Jack Frost.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are they still playing those, or you got it taped?
I got it. I got it on Amazon Prime, but I also have the DVDs because I figure someday they're going to offend somebody and get taken off the air.
You bought the box set, right?
I did. I'm thinking about buying a Rolex. Actually, I was considering it. I've always wanted a Rolex because of Ric Flair. But then every time I look at it, I go, I don't even go out. Why do I need a fucking $5,000 watch? So, my phone tells me the time. So it's.
I was like, who the hell wears watches anymore?
So does Alexa.
I do.
Shut up! I'll do it tonight, Hollandcheck.
What? Oh, okay.
Hollandcheck's breaking balls.
So do I, Randall. Keep that alive, man.
But yeah, PTM did a wonderful thing last night. They well, first of all, they had to give the sad story, which was heartbreaking. But then they set up the GoFundMe, which caught fire. I mean, within 2 hours, they'd reached the goal.
What we showed last night was the good stuff.
Yeah.
This hobby can do when it comes together.
Oh yes.
When it's not one person has the power, but a lot of people are there. I will say this to anybody who can hear me. If Eddie Williams is even a member of your group right now, you are responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If Eddie Williams is a member of your group, you are as responsible as he is right now. Sorry, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Because Stephen Hammer, because if this isn't enough to block somebody and kick them out of your group, then you have no right kicking anybody out of your group for anything ever. And the only reason I would think that maybe you not kicking him out of your group, and I don't know what groups he's in, but
that's up to you.
If the only reason you might not kick him out of your group is if you're complicit in what he's doing.
Yep.
Or you're hoping to get something out of it because you're owed something, maybe. Outside of that, yeah, you have to be complicit. And to piggyback off what you just said, I'm gonna circle it back around. There's no way that, and I'm saying this now, and if it catches me heat, I don't care. There's no way that if you lived with somebody that you didn't know that they were doing it, if they didn't have a job or if they work a $9 an hour job, they were complicit. I'm just leaving that there, and I'm shut up.
A lot of people are complicit. I think we're going to find out a lot more. I have on good authority that we're going to find out a lot more. And now the police are involved, and this is going to get serious. And people better start making their moves. Because, I mean, I don't live in West Virginia, but if I did, I'd be concerned now that the police in West Virginia are involved.
Well, I live in West Virginia, and I've seen, I think it was you actually that I posted the sheriff's number.
Yeah.
Correct? Am I wrong? Was it you, Carmine, that posted it?
Somebody did.
I believe Randall did.
Yeah, or maybe it was Randall. Maybe it was Randall. My apologies. My apologies. But yeah, I saw where the actual sheriff, the number to that sheriff was posted and said, if anybody has any information, on or more information of Eddie's deeds, to get in contact with them. So the shoe's going to drop. I mean, it's just a matter of time, how much dirt they have and how much they
Hi, I'm back.
It was me all along, Austin.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I couldn't remember if it was you, Randall, or if I because I thought it was Carmine, but it was you. My apologies, Carmine, and my apologies to Randall for saying it was.
What did you think was me?
I thought it was you that posted the sheriff's number earlier, saying get in contact with them if you have any issues regarding Eddie.
If you actually do have something, contact myself or Randall and we'll get you the number that you need to call.
Why does Robert Stack seem appropriate right now?
In fact, contact Randall because the chances of me messaging you back are slim.
Yeah. You stay busy. You stay busy.
I do stay busy. My fucking messenger's exploding right now. I'm in
I bet it
17
is.
chats and all of them have Colin in them. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
This
Oh,
is the
jeez.
Me
Good
Too
move.
movement of
Good
the
move,
hobby.
Randall. Good move.
This
Our
is
buddy
becoming
Colin,
the Me
right,
Too
Andy?
movement of the hobby. So we're gonna hear more
We
stories.
figured that posting that number, the sheriff was going to get 8,000 calls going, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? What'd you hear?
Yeah.
People think they can call the sheriff's department and get the goods, get the information.
And I've heard several different people give different accounts of whether Eddie's in the hospital, if he's on his deathbed, if he's home.
I know what I know.
Yeah.
I know what I know. As of yesterday, he was on a ventilator.
Okay.
That's accurate. Unless he put somebody else in the hospital on a ventilator and had them use his name.
That's kind of a reach.
That would be a reach.
Well, let me say this,
Reach
man.
around.
You know, I don't wish anything like that upon anybody.
No.
Even if they ripped me off, I still, you know, I'd probably want to do it personally and not let a virus take care of it for me.
You might want to block that person there, Mark.
Okay, I don't know who that is, so
Well, I didn't even see what it was said, so
it didn't make any sense.
No. And I'm here,
They
so
come into the
it's
chat
not
and they
me.
put up these things and they want you to click on them. And
Okay.
that's how they
Well, this is my first night on YouTube, so I'm learning that part of it tonight. I already blocked one guy that I don't think I was supposed to block.
Are we live on the tube of you? That's
Really?
awesome.
Yes, we debuted on YouTube tonight. Yeah.
Mr. Brian Allen.
Yeah. But anyway, we're getting ready to wrap this up because we've been on 2 hours, and my back. I've been nursing a sore back since Sunday. It's getting better, but I can't sit.
That's what Gianni said about his penis before the girl ran out of the room. He's like, I was getting ready to wrap this up.
But anyway, yeah, we've had our say on Eddie tonight on the show, and next week we're going to get back to the belts and enjoy it. So I'm sure Carmine, the PTM guys, they'll keep us posted on the.
I got a funny story for you before you go.
Sure.
Gianni video chats us once with, Gianni likes the larger women. And Gianni video chats us once. This is the greatest thing Andy Bulger's ever said in the history of things that Andy Bulger's ever said.
She might be watching, Carmine. I'd be.
So Gianni video chats us once. He's with his girl. And the girl goes and she grabs the pizza guy comes to the door and hands 3 pizzas.
Two
and
pizzas.
Andy Bulger goes, that's great, but what are you going to eat?
Good night, Felix. Join us again next week.
Yeah.
I was concerned.
About that one.
I was concerned.
definitely, man. Yes, let's do a Smoky Mountain related episode for sure.
Yeah. Here, let's plan out for a couple of weeks. I got somebody coming on next week, so let's plan on that. But I want to thank everybody for coming on.
Thank
you
you for
joining
having
us
me.
on our debut night on YouTube. We actually had 20 viewers tonight. That's an all-time high.
Because I'm here.
Yeah. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. We'll be back next week with another good show, and hope you're there. Y'all have a good night.